Zoom bombing. It's the latest word hitting the news. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to protect you and your students from Zoom bombing during your Zoom classroom meetings. Now, I've been using Zoom for years and I've always found it to be very secure. But with its rise in popularity lately, this is when we're starting to see more hackers, and that's exactly what Zoom bombing is. Basically, what's happening is hackers are finding their way into people's Zoom meetings. Now, this does sound scary, but I'm going to share with you several security measures you can take to add extra layers of protection to your Zoom classroom meetings. The first tip I have for you is to add passwords when you're setting up your meetings. And basically what this means is when you set up your meeting, as I showed you in a previous video, you are going to make sure the setting for students to enter a password is turned on. And what that means is when students click the link to join the meeting, they'll also have to put in a password. Previously, I had said that I didn't recommend this just because it's an extra step that students have to take and it can get complicated. But with Zoom bombing on the rise, I do recommend this now because it's going to protect your students. Creating a password for your students to use to log into the meeting is easy. This is the page where you're going to schedule your meeting. Remember, you just click on meetings and create a new meeting. And you are going to scroll down to meeting password. Now, as of recently, because of Zoom bombing, Zoom is now automatically checking this box, so it should be automatically checked for you. But what I want to show you is that you are capable of changing the password. So a bunch of numbers, particularly if you're teaching littler kids, might be hard for your students to remember or type in. So if you want to change the password to something familiar, like I could just make it my last name, I can create my own password. So students would just type my last name in to enter the meeting. But that is where you're going to go and how you will control the password settings. My second security tip is wait to send out your meeting invitation and password. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll go in and we'll set up all of our meetings weeks or even a month in advance and send that out to our students so that they have it. But what I recommend that you do is make sure your students know that they will receive their invitation and link within 12 to 48 hours of the meeting. So that way you don't have the links and the passwords out there floating around for very long. They're only available for a short period of time, so it makes it harder for other people to find them. My third security tip for you is set up a virtual waiting room. I have a previous video where I show you how to do this. It's very, very simple, so make sure to check that video out. It's in the description below. But setting up a virtual waiting room will allow you to control who can enter the meeting, because basically what's going to happen is when students are logging in, their names are going to pop up in a list and you are manually going to be able to control which of those students enter the meeting. So if you see a name that you don't recognize, you don't have to let that person enter. Now, my last security tip for you is to lock your meeting. And what this means is after you've started your meeting, you are able to click a setting to lock your meeting. And at that point, no more people can enter the meeting. So it prevents people from coming in unexpectedly in the middle, especially people that you don't want to be there. The only problem with this option is if a student gets kicked out of the meeting and then they're trying to log back in, they're not going to be able to do it because the meeting is locked. Or if a student arrives to the meeting late, they're not going to be able to get in because the meeting's locked. So if you choose to use this feature, make sure your students know that they must arrive to the meeting by a certain time or they're not going to be able to attend. Now, you will be able to lock your meeting once you are inside of your meeting. So as you can see, I am inside of my meeting here. And what I recommend that you do is give students 5 to 10 minutes to enter, because especially if they're learning from home, not everybody's going to be on time. And once your meeting's locked, nobody else can get in. So when you're ready to lock your meeting, you're going to click on Manage Participants. And over here, you should see a complete list of everyone who is inside of your meeting. You're going to click on this arrow that says More, and then you're just going to click unlock meeting. And it's gonna give you this message reminding you that no new attendees can join, and you are gonna click yes. And now my meeting is locked, so nobody else can join this meeting. If at any time I want to unlock the meeting, I'm just going to click on that more drop-down menu again, and I'm going to unlock the meeting, and it's going to give me a message again telling me that attendees can join, and I'm going to click yes. But that is how you lock and unlock your Zoom meetings. When setting up and conducting your next Zoom meetings, make sure to implement these 4 tips that I shared with you today to add an extra level of security to your Zoom classrooms. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to leave a comment below. And then make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, because I've got lots of videos coming out soon and I don't want you to miss any of them. Happy teaching!